The Emmy for Outstanding Sports Personality, Emerging On-Air Talent goes to Wiley Acho from the Fox and FS1.
Thank y'all. First and foremost, just want to thank God, my family, my friends, everybody that's been in my corner. You don't do this for the awards, but it's always humbling to be honored. My goal has always been to change the world, whether in sports, whether in racial reconciliation, regardless of what I do when I speak, it's with one objective: to change hearts, to change minds, and to try to make our world a better place. So I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm privileged, and this is only the beginning. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank you.
Want to give a huge congratulations to my co-host, Wiley Acho, for winning the Emmy last night for Outstanding Sports Personality and Emerging On-Air Talent. The Fox family is extremely proud of you, as I am. Congratulations, Acho. Now give us your real acceptance speech, because you're over there trying to be polite. Thank you, thank you.
Look, no, real talk. First off, I'm just humbled because you know how many bad takes I'll be given. So the fact that I still won an Emmy with all these bad takes mean there must be some good morsels of good takes in there.
Oh, man.
No, dog, I will say this. You see, Marcellus called me this morning, or during our morning call, he was like, you was nervous.
I know you.
He was like, for the first time on air, I saw you were nervous.
I saw it.
And I was genuinely nervous because if you don't win, you got to go try to win again. But once you've won, you can check that off and say, I've officially won an Emmy. So shout out to you for making me better. Shout out to everybody for the contributions. And I said it's only the beginning, so
yeah,
let's get to making more greatness.
Let's go, man. And excuse me for being nervous because I never won, so I'm still in that position of trying to win over-the-hill talent. I don't know, emerging and something over here. But let's get this show rolling with my man, Wiley Acho, in the building. It's time for our top story, delivered by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com. I'm going to send one to your crib for congratulations, Acho. My clips! Yeah, boy. We were rolling with a 13-point lead at halftime, but we do have to play the second half, and it all went away in the third quarter. Donovan Mitchell, come on, Spider, scored 45 points, which was more than Kawhi and PG combined. Clippers had a shot to tie it up with a three at the buzzer, but Rudy Gobert blocked the shot to seal the win. How tall is he? So, Acho, are you encouraged by my Clippers despite the Game 1 loss?
My first answer, Sal, was going to be yes. I was going to rush to a yes because on the surface, the answer is yes. You see, Kawhi struggled, PG struggled, and the Clippers barely lost.
Yes.
To me, that rings true for, if we barely lost and PG goes 4 for 17, we barely lost and Kawhi doesn't even have 30, we can beat these boys on any given night. Gucci. But then I said I'm not encouraged, and I'm not encouraged for this reason, which is stronger than the reason in which I want to say yes. The issues that plagued them against the Dallas Mavericks are the same exact identical issues that are plaguing them in this series.
Okay.
Let me take y'all back somewhere y'all haven't been, but Marcellus has been. After every Sunday in the NFL, on Monday, you watch tape. At a minimum, on Tuesday, you're watching tape as a team.
Yep.
And the reason you are watching tape is for one primary objective. Whatever you messed up in that Sunday, fix it and fix it quickly, because other opponents are watching what you messed up on that Sunday, and they will run the exact same thing that caused you an issue. So if you messed up on Sunday trying to stop an empty formation, then all you will see the following Sunday is empty formations until you prove that you can stop it.
Say it.
That's until you prove you can stop it, they're going to smell blood in the water. Why am I bringing this up in regards to the Clippers? Because the Clippers did not go back and watch film study from what they messed up against the Mavericks. Against the Mavericks, they could not stop a single and solitary scorer, Luka Doncic. They couldn't stop him.
Okay.
We saw Luka put up over 40. We saw Luka put up over 30. We saw Luka average 35 points per game, the youngest player in NBA history to average 35 over a series. The Clippers proved they could not stop a solitary scorer. Against the Mavericks, the Clippers proved that, Paul George, you can go cold for long periods of time. And Paul George, through 3 quarters, you had 7 points. You proved against the Mavericks, Paul George, that we can't necessarily trust you throughout the duration of a series. And once again, Game 1, you proved that. Against the Mavericks, Kawhi, you showed us that sometimes you'll take the challenge of guarding the best offensive player, like Luka. You shut him down. Game 6, you shut him down. At times, you shut him down Game 6, and at times, you shut him down Game 5. Kawhi, you also showed us against the Mavericks that sometimes as a scorer, you'll just waver and wane. Remember game 1, you didn't really do much. Game 2, though, 41 points.
Beast.
But then you didn't really do much in other games. All the issues, Sel, that we saw against the Mavericks, we are seeing now against the Clippers. I'll end my first lap with a track reference,
yes.
a lap reference.
Yes.
So, in the prelims of a 400-meter race, One Lap America, in case you haven't been watching our show previously, in the prelims of a 400-meter race, you can afford to get behind early if you know that your competition is lesser than and you can put on a good sprint in the last 100 meters or so and catch them. You can do that in the prelims because your competition is lesser. But in the semifinals, when you're facing better competition, you understand you can't let somebody get too far ahead of you. Because what worked in the prelims, you being able to turn it on in the last 100 meters and catch them and still win, does not work against better competition. Against the Mavericks, Clippers, you can afford to go down 2-0. Because realistically speaking, they're not that good outside of Luka. Their second best player was no second best player at all in Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh, so we're going to do that to Hardaway Jr.? Go do that to you.
Hardaway Jr. is not supposed to be the second best player.
He was supposed to be, but he played it.
But he did.
Okay.
But it was not supposed to be his job. Kristaps is making $150 million over like his 5-year deal.
Facts.
So you can afford to give the Mavs a huge 2-0 lead and be up 30-11 in game 3 because you know you can still outkick them. But you cannot outkick this Utah Jazz team if they get too far ahead. For that reason, Sel, the reason that the Clippers did not fix their errors from one series to the next is why I'm not encouraged.
Okay, you're not encouraged. Should I be encouraged by the Mr. Emerging Emmy Award-winning Wiley Acho in this new look? Because this is a couple days in a row with the no tie, the whole Miami. Oh, what we doing? Just let me know. So,
I ain't got the chest hairs out, though, at least.
So that's a new look. I just want to make sure before we get into some deep diving right here. Ooh, I got some pushbacks on you. First of all, am I encouraged by the Clippers despite the game 1 loss? Actually, I am. And it's weird because I thought I was just protecting my emotions. I thought I was just going through battered syndrome because, you know, my Clippers, this is the second round, as far as we go. So I was like, am I putting my emotional mattress down on the ground already and just cushioning this fall?
Talk to me, Sel.
This is where we lay. This is where we play. No, I actually felt encouraged. And you know me, 2 things going to happen when the Clippers play.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to tweet, IG something.
Yes, sir.
And then also look at my real phone for the real homies who blowing me up, and we talk gangster. Now, I had nothing but comebacks, which was surprising me, which let me know I am encouraged by this. And you even said it. Your first response was, I'm encouraged by the loss.
No doubt.
Now, I always tell you this, and I'm going to have to tell those viewers out there the same thing. To understand what response is the truest response that you have to trust the first response. That's why they say trust your gut, your intuition. And I always tell you this, the neurological response is 6 million times faster, scientists have proven, in intuition than cognitive reasoning. Basically, if you feel something, trust that, brother. But you're going to be, I don't know what's that. No one's outside. No one's in the back. I turned off the lights. I like. Go back there and find out what's back there.
Talk to me.
You should trust yourself. You should have trusted your first layer of this. You should have trusted the fact that you were encouraged. I tell you why. Spider ain't outscoring Kawhi and PG again in this series. Book it, Dano. Book it. No push-ups. But the point is, he ain't going to play like that. And if he does, we're going to play better. So it's not about wishing bad and ill on Spider.
Of course.
It's just like, oh, that ain't happening again.
Sir.
So that's part 1. Part 2 is we lost in logistics. I saw an article in The Athletic, great article, talking about the Clippers' last 5 days. Forget that they just came off an emotional spent series in the Game 7 against the Dallas Mavericks. Remind yourself that they were down 3-2. And what it took for them, as you said, in that prelim to actually run the second half of that 400 a little harder than they desired. So they were spent. They came into this game spent, as Coach would say, and still was jogging and beating this team. Now, this team didn't have Mike Conley. I understand that. This team also shot their worst field goal percentage of the playoffs.
Yes,
I'm going to be objective up here. They shot their second worst three-point percentage of the playoffs. So they weren't even shooting well because Mike Conley wasn't there to get them in the proper position. But if you look at this in totality, the adjustments that Ty Lue will make, The fact that his dynamic duo was not dynamite, and the fact that now you get the full recovery of we're in a series, and now we're going to play against this team going forward instead of the residue of the series we just went through. Oh, the Clippers got this one. My bad. I tweeted out that we were going to sweep them. It's a gentleman's sweep. We do have manners.
You are a gentleman, so I will treat you as such. So let's be fully objective, shall we?
Whoa.
The Clippers stayed close in that game by score at the end of the game because the lead they took at the middle of the game, 10-point lead at halftime. But as I look at it, you brought it up, and I'm going to really massage it deep into everyone's minds.
Rub it out.
The Jazz were 0 for 20 during a 9-minute stretch on field goal attempts, meaning they missed 20 straight field goals.
Facts.
That hasn't happened for the Utah Jazz in the last 25 years. That's since we started recording the stat. That hasn't happened in the National Basketball Association since October of 2017, the Portland Trail Blazers. So the Utah Jazz quite literally did something they have never done since recording stats and hasn't happened in the NBA in 3 years. The Clippers, however, did the same thing they did just 2 games ago. Same thing they did just Game 7. They let a baller go out there and ball and outscore their 2 leading scorers, and they let PG fall asleep at the wheel for the beginning of a game. I'm comparing outlier to norm. What we saw yesterday for the Jazz was an outlier. What we saw yesterday for the Clippers was the norm, and the Jazz still won the game. See, we talked about the fact that, Spidey's not going to outscore in PG and Kawhi again, or is he? Spidey averages 34.4 points per game in the playoffs over the last 2 postseasons. I will say it again. Spidey Mitchell averages 34.4 points per game over the last 2
University of Texas, 45, 34 last night, 45, 34 average. Oh, regression. Sounds like it.
I will simply say that 34.4 points per game is better than
what?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Spidey,
but he ain't gonna be better than a duo. The Wonder Twins gonna have to be.
Don't do that. I got this. I got this for later in the show, but we might have to go here. You want to do the averages?
24 last series.
Here's where we're gonna go. Here's where we're going to go.
We average more than him.
The Clippers are a duo by name alone, not by performance.
24 average?
They are a duo.
That's more than LeBron did last series.
Okay, All-Star has 2 words in it. All and star. At all times, you should be a star. Paul George is a some star because sometimes he is a star. So y'all don't have a dynamic duo. Y'all have a singular duo.
What is AD and LeBron? Some star.
AD was hurt.
Hold on, that counts.
Was hurt.
What's the greatest ability according to you?
Availability.
Okay, with some star.
To you,
what about LeBron? PG averaged more in his series than LeBron did.
No, sir. I'm saving y'all because we got this later in the show. And I'm not going to crush PG right now. But I'm going to say this.
What?
4 for 17, PG. You're PG.
Yeah.
Playoff P.
Yeah.
4 for 17.
Yeah.
And he had 13 of his 20 in the fourth quarter.
That's clutch.
That is clutch.
That boy clutch.
But you can't sit here and try to sprint at the end of the game when you are far too. Sal, you know this.
Oh, here you go. I got him on his 5th take. You're on your 5th take right now.
And all them takes is 5.
They are, but...
Did you run anchor, I would assume, for your 4x4s?
Depends on where they wanted to lead, homie. If they wanted to start off fast, I was first. If they wanted to come back, it was last.
My dog probably ran anchor, usually in 4x4s. You typically save your fastest person for the anchor leg.
Standard issue.
Typically, standard issue.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. I remember Marcellus Wiley back when he had hair at 12 years old. He's running that anchor leg. And if you run that anchor leg, he's looking back and he's waiting for the baton and he's telling his runner.
Give me that thing. Come on.
He's doing like this.
Bring it in.
What y'all don't know about Marcellus Wiley, which would have had a high top at 12 years old back in the 1950s.
Curly top. Yeah.
What y'all don't know is this.
Big Daddy Kane.
Before the race, Marcellus Wiley told this to his 3 teammates. He said, hey, just make sure you get me the baton close enough to make up the ground. That's what Sel told his teammates. I was there. That's what he said. Here's the problem, Sel.
What?
PG run an anchor leg. The gap is too far. So even if he gets his 13 points in the fourth quarter, it's still not enough because his teammates, him included, because he's a part of that, unlike track, but his teammates are letting that divide be too big. So Marcellus is doing this to his teammate. Hey, come on, you got this. I'm going to run this anchor. But even when you grab the baton, you take off and you start running, the gap is too far to close. For that reason, I'm not encouraged by your clips, bro.
Time out, man. That was a great example. It doesn't apply neatly to this.
Not fully.
Because look, we had to leave.
But you liked it.
Fire. Just use it in the C block. Like, use it right now. Like, wait a minute. We had a 13-point lead. KG ain't saying nothing. It almost felt like before that, at halftime, he was like, oh, I might not have to run today. Like, my third leg just going to run 2 laps. I don't know what's going to happen. We had a 13-point lead, but I respect what you said. But I don't respect that you took a little shot at Ty Lue, and I felt it. And now, Ty Lue may not feel it, but I felt it. You talking about watch film. Learn from your Luka experience. All scorers are not created equal. You said they didn't watch film because they couldn't stop Luka, and now here we go not being able to stop Spider. They are two different animals.
That's true.
Both tigers? No. Both lions? No. Just both cats. But they are different. Trust me, when you see Spider with the ball, his next step may be anywhere on that court. Well, Luka is calculated. It's within his own skin. So that's a completely different animal. Physics, Spider small but thick. Luka's big. All that's different. So I look at our team and we're going to make adjustments. We had to make adjustments to Luka. When it mattered most, who won that series? When it matters most, who's going to win this series? What I saw yesterday, I love the fact that you said anomalies versus the norm.
Yes, sir.
Our defense doesn't get enough credit. Let me tell you why. Because one, Luka torched us. But then, let me tell you again, Spider torched us. But here's the thing, though. Even Utah was talking about it post-game. The ball was sticking in the beginning of the game. That's why they shot so bad and poorly in the beginning. No Mike Conley to get them in the right position. But the Clippers sit there and say, if you don't want to move, if you're not running a highly sophisticated offense, you don't stand a chance against us defensively. So when everyone says the mantra of the Clippers having a great backcourt in terms of defense, they're talking about when teams play standard issue. When you come as calculated, you can't mess with us. When you go off script, we got to make our adjustments, but you can't torch us in those moments. We saw it with Luka. We're seeing it right now with Spider, but we will make our adjustments. We will throw different packages, defensive coverages, the same thing we did to Luka. Not so much to slow him down. That's a deception. You know what in football, coach says, don't care about the dude in motion. It's
eye candy.
Eye candy.
Eye candy.
Eye candy. Spider gonna be eye candy. Luka was eye candy. It's them other dudes. The tackle either gonna run or pass block. That's it. And all we gotta do is make sure that we don't get beat again by Jordan Clarkson making, 6 threes? He didn't shoot perfect. He didn't shoot well, but he made all them damn threes. And that's the thing. This team going forward is gonna make the proper adjustments to make the fix. Clippers in 5. Simple as that. Coming up, should the Packers actually fine Aaron Rodgers for missing minicamp? We'll answer that. But first, Cowboys say Dak Prescott should be ready to go for training camp. We'll tell you what's at stake for their quarterback this season. But before we go, once again, congratulations to Acho for winning the Emmy.
It's lit.
It's lit. More Speak for Yourself is coming up next with Emmy Acho. My God. Let's head to Dallas, where all signs are pointing to Dak Prescott being ready for this season after missing most of last year with an ankle injury. Dak's been participating at practice, and Mike McCarthy says they're not naive and will have to work through some things. But added, he anticipates his quarterback will be in, quote, full mode for training camp next month. So, Acho, what's at stake for Dak Prescott this season?
His reputation, his pride, but most importantly, his perception. I'm going to land on the word perception for all of y'all. The perception of Dak Prescott is fully at stake in this season. Life is always about the lens through which you see someone. Okay. Life is about the lens through which you see someone. Okay. Now, Sal, you got 3 under 5, correct? 3, 5, and under.
Man, say it again.
Olivia, 1.
Oh, look at you.
Araya, 2.
You finally said Olivia.
I did my homework.
Right. Okay.
And MJ, 5.
MJ.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. You got 3, 5, and under. What that means is this, and I can imagine, if Olivia takes her first few steps as a 1-year-old, she did recently.
Yes.
Did you clap? You yelled?
Hell yeah, she Frankensteining around the house.
No. So Olivia, the 1-year-old, took some steps, and Marcellus Wiley applauded. Now, Araya, the 2-year-old, if she took some steps, still at 2, you might smile, but you might nod with approval, but you wouldn't give her too much grace for that. Like, you're 2. You should be able to.
Hurry up.
Now, MJ,
oh my,
your 5-year-old,
man,
if he were to walk, you wouldn't do anything. If he were to fall, you'd probably be like, get up, son, you're 5, you can walk. Because it's always through the lens in which you see someone through. When you're talking about Dak Prescott, when he was a rookie, year 1 in the league, 13-3. We all stood up, standing ovation.
Here we go.
Second year in the league, win 10 games, not with approval like your 2-year-old when she walks, but by the time you're in year 5, like MJ, year 5, it's no longer time to applaud someone for walking. because it's through the perception in which you see someone. Dak is now going on 6, like MJ.
Yes.
Going on 6.
Yes.
Sell. He's now going to be judged accordingly. We always judge Dak Prescott as a 4th-round pick. 4th-round pick goes 13-3. 4th-round pick goes 10-6. 4th-round pick goes 9-7. 4th-round pick goes 8-8. But when you're the number 1 paid player in all of football, now you go 13-3. Now you go 10-6. Now you go 8-8. Because it's all about perception. Dak no longer has that 1-year-old grace like you give Olivia. He no longer has that 2-year-old grace that you give Araya. He's about to start to be treated like a true youngin', a young adult, like you treat MJ. So Dak's perception is fully at stake, and it's finally at stake because he ain't no longer going to be treated like that little baby. He's going to be treated like the highest paid player in the NFL.
Can I hit you with the Acho clap? That take right there. I give you the Acho clap. Any Acho clap right there. He's number 2 paid, not number 1. So just look at you and your take. I even got to listen to every word because Acho will sneak one in on you. Patrick Mahomes. Okay, let me talk about this. 1, you brought my kids up. Now, you know.
That's risky.
Hey, that's risky, brother? Brothers get into it, too. I'm still going to throw these haymakers. You try to pull at my heartstrings, MJ, Araya, Olivia. They still coming, brother. Kids are low enough, they ain't got a duck. I'm swinging up high at you. Here's the thing. MJ, if it took you to 5 to walk, damn, dog. I wouldn't be doing this show every day. I'd be like, yo, I got some issues at home. My boy can't walk. Here's the thing. I love that take, except once again, you tried to put it somewhere it doesn't apply if you know the NFL and its history, and I know you do. I know you know of someone greater than Dak Prescott by the name of John Elway. I know you know someone greater than Dak Prescott by the name of Peyton Manning. And I know you know of other quarterbacks that have taken their time to show the world greatness in the form of Super Bowl championship. Because that's the only thing we're really talking about right here. What's at stake for Dak Prescott this season? Not a damn thing in terms of it's no risk involved in how he plays this year. I've been in this position before. I just wasn't a quarterback. But the highest paid, the dude everybody was looking at, like, you get all the attention, you get all the criticism. And you know what I knew? What y'all gonna do to me this year? Like, this year? I got y'all. And y'all hook me up. Here's the sentence for those who think I'm over here just trying to be greedy. The organization looks at Dak. We gave you what you want, right? Now give us what we want. Now, what do we want? A Lombardi trophy.
Yes, sir.
But we can't be so arrogant to say, this year, give us a Lombardi trophy or else. So you know what the equation really is? Get us closer to where we want to be. Lombardi and where we are now. Out the playoffs. So close that gap. Lean towards getting closer to the Lombardi. Conference championship. Even a loss.
Yes, sir.
Even a loss.
Yes, sir.
Divisional round, that could be tricky because did we go wild card and win one? Or did we just go one and done with a good record winning our division? But Dak, this is what's at stake. A measurable, get to the conference championship and do what you want to do.
Yes, sir.
Go 0 for 30 for no yards, and they're going to be like silently clapping. But the risk of this year, absolutely zero. Donut. He's Teflon this year. He said, give me what I want, and I'll give you what you want, but it's going to take some time.
I love how all you need is a conference championship. I co-sign that. Dak, you get them a conference championship, it really don't even matter how you perform all year. They will look over all of that and say, well done, Dak. But here's the thing. Last time the Cowboys went to a conference championship was 1995. Dak Prescott is earning $75 million this year. Dak Prescott is making more money, twice as much money, as the entire Cowboys roster in 95, twice. Dak Prescott's making $75 million this year. Salary cap in 95 was $37 million. Y'all do the math, multiply that times 2. Dak Prescott is making so much money, more than the likes of Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Larry Allen, Charles Haley, Deion Sanders, etc. So if you're looking at Dak this year, you're making $75 million, it's a lot of pride and reputation on the line. Because at the end of the day, Sal, I'm going to look at who else is in that tax bracket.
Let's go.
And if I'm a fan, at first I was looking at Dak like, we got you in the 4th round. The Eagles got Carson Wentz in the first round, and he's traded. Man, we're outshining you. We got you in the fourth round. The Rams got Jared Goff in the first round, traded for Jared Goff, and he's not even there anymore. We're winning that bet because you're comparing apples to apples. Same draft class, Dak Prescott. In theory, to Cowboys fans, he outplayed Jared Goff even though they went to a Super Bowl. In theory, to Cowboys fans, he outplayed Carson Wentz even though he went to and his team won a Super Bowl. But either way, you're looking at Dak Prescott and comparing him to his peers, his 2016 draft class peers. Now he's got to be compared to different peers.
I'm listening.
His peers now were Patrick Mahomes. If you're telling me the highest paid player in the NFL, although Dak Prescott making more money this year, but yes, body of work.
Yeah.
His peers now were Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
His peers now were Russell Wilson. His peer now, although by record very terrible, individually amazing, Deshaun Watson. Dak Prescott's peers have changed. So Cowboys fans are no longer looking at Dak Prescott in comparison to Carson Wentz, in comparison to Jared Goff, because Dak Prescott somehow to Cowboys fans was winning that battle. It still blows my mind, but he was. But Dak Prescott compared to Patrick Mahomes, now you're going to look at, wait, the Chiefs are 15-2 and we're 9-8? The heck? Wait, I don't even know. I think that math works out. Wait, you know, these new records got me.
Hey, they going to week 18 this year. What?
Like, wait a second.
Carry the
man.
one.
Deshaun Watson leads the league in passing touchdowns, passing yards.
Oh, you're doing this.
Exactly. Wait a second. You're starting to get compared to a different peer group, and I think that could ruin Dak's reputation.
Man, a peer group comparison, huh?
Yes, sir.
Did you grow up where you felt peer pressure in the negative sense? Because Dak shouldn't feel jack when he gets compared to this peer group. Woo! Actually, Dak is like, please compare me to these dudes because they are fine from far, but they far from fine. Remember them days? Hey, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes and his one ring. I love people say rings, ring. So technically, Dak could catch Patrick Mahomes this year. Now, Patrick Mahomes could go to 2, or he could stay at 1, and Dak could get 1, and they on the same level.
Yes, sir.
Just giving you the hypotheticals.
For sure.
Let's talk about Dak Prescott getting compared to Deshaun Watson, who may not even play this year, part 1. Part 2, even when he played his best, they were 4-12. Part 3, he has a 29-27 overall record. Compared to Dak Prescott, who's never had a losing season when he's healthy, compare me to Deshaun if you want to. And we got the same playoff record? Get out of here. Oh, compare me to Aaron Rodgers and all his greatness and all them MVPs and one ring. And he don't even want to play this year for your team. Compare me to that dude. He don't even know. He gonna be in a golf tournament next week, but not mini camp.
That's crazy.
Gangsta,
so crazy,
gangsta,
bro.
that's what they yelling. So let's talk about, compare me to Jared Goff. I ain't even gonna do that because that's not fair. Like, that's punching down. Jared Goff is in a bad position right now. Does he have a ring? Nope. Compare me to Jared Goff if you want. Did his team want him? Nope. Compare me to Jared Goff if you want. See, I'm punching down. Let's talk about Russell Wilson. Hey, I love it here, unless you could send me to 4 other places that I ain't gonna go to. Let me cook. Oh, I'm gonna burn up the house. Oh, okay, second half of every season, I can't do it. Oh, I've already cost us 1 Super Bowl, and I got 1 ring. If I'm Dak Prescott, I'm looking at these dudes, they fine from far, bruh. He can catch them like that.
I like that take because you are right, and I'm not going to discourage Cowboys fans. You win a Super Bowl right now, you fix all the problems. Big if, but if you do win a Super Bowl, you fix all the problems. Here's the thing, and I've never thought about this until you just brought this up.
I forgot Carson Wentz, too. I know why I forgot about it.
Aaron Rodgers causing issues in Green Bay. Russell Wilson causing issues in Seattle. Jared Goff, he had turmoil in his team. Yep. Carson Wentz, turmoil with his former team. Dak Prescott, no turmoil. I wonder why. So sometimes if people are in situations that they know are too good for them, they just sit there quietly to make sure they don't get caught. You know it.
That robbery.
You know it.
Stop it.
You know,
Stop it.
If you're in a relationship with a significant other, and y'all might be right now, if you sitting there with your girl and you know your girl is too good for you, you just hoping she does not realize that she too good for you, because one day she gonna wake up and be like, wait a second,
fraud.
What I'm dating you for? You're on the couch watching Speak for Yourself. Go get a job. If you're in a relationship with a woman and you know you too good for her, all of a sudden you like, what I'm talking to you for? Let me go talk to somebody. Dak Prescott's causing no problems because he knows he has it good. He's sitting there like, wait a second. Wait a second. I'm only 20-17 in my last 3 seasons, and they just paid me $160 million.
Don't carve him up.
They just gave me $75 million this year, and they don't know I went 8-8 when I was healthy, and I went 2-3, and I was really 1-4 when I. Wait, I'm 10-6. The year before that, don't nobody tell nobody tell Jerry Jones, I'm still the highest paid. You cause problems when you know you delivering. Dak is just trying to keep it hush-hush so we don't get caught. Because everything you said makes sense. Russell Wilson, he wants out. Aaron Rodgers, he wants out. Carson Wentz had beef. Jared Goff had beef. But all those dudes also had more success than Dak Prescott's ever had. Because Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, his team went to a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson has won a Super Bowl. But when you know you're in a situation and they might be too good for you, you do what Dak Prescott is doing. You sit there, you shut up, you count your blessings, and you keep it pushing. So I don't know if it's any good or if it's really just Dak Prescott being like, hey, don't nobody tell everything good right now.
Man, that was a beautiful boy. Ooh, I know the Emmy board, like, damn, how can we give him another one next year? Because you ain't going to be emerging next year. You here, brother. Woo, but you know me. I didn't grow up with brothers, so I like to fight when I get one in front of me. Let's talk. Let's get this vehicle together, okay? Because you gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's 6 seats. My Tesla, 3 rows, 2 seats each. Patrick Mahomes driving, okay? Aaron Rodgers, you ride a shotgun. Put Deshaun in the middle. And he can sit there with Russell Wilson. Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, y'all in the back by the trunk.
Yep, in the
Lucky
back.
y'all don't open the trunk up while I'm riding too. Y'all gonna fall out. Here's the thing, those 6 riding deep, right? And then they riding, and they looking around. Ain't nobody like us. We the money men in the league. We make the most. In history, we keep talking about present day who makes the most. I remind y'all, that means they made the most in NFL history.
Yes,
every single legend you could think of, they laughing at them. They got them on every game check. Now, here comes this car out of nowhere that you say, you better be quiet. You know, quiet car, no emissions. You be real silent because you are sneaking in on this situation that you don't necessarily deserve. You haven't earned. But if you're in that car, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, and you look to the side, and if you look at that side mirror and you squint, it ain't who you're looking at, Dak Prescott coming to get in. It's that little label at the bottom. You ever read it? Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. All them dudes sitting there comfortable, seats back, all messing with Jared Goff and them, acting like they got rings, that they solidified legends. Ringa, ringa. Dad, go get your ring so you get in that car. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers is holding out, but should the Packers actually find him? That's gangster. We'll answer that next on Speak for Yourself. Scoot over. Somebody out there. Let's head to Green Bay. All right, let's go. Aaron Rodgers is officially holding out of minicamp. Rodgers could face a fine of over $93,000 for missing the 3-day camp. Matt LaFleur was asked if his quarterback's absence was excused or if he will be fined and said, quote, that's team business. Well, there's no doubt his teammates have his back. Take a listen.
I care about Aaron Rodgers from a friend perspective. Whatever he wants to do, whatever the situation that comes out, I will never hold any grudge against him. That is my friend. That is someone that I've appreciated, and he has done a lot for this organization and a lot for me as an individual.
I got his back through everything, so he knows at the end of the day, if there's ever a wonder of, he's lost a teammate or something because of all this come out, like he knows where I stand. I'll stand on I'll stand on the mountain and scream on the mountaintop, that I got his back.
Acho, should the Packers fine Aaron Rodgers? What are they talking about?
No, absolutely not. Packers, no, Sale. The reason you discipline someone is to impact them to change their course of behavior.
Okay.
Fining Aaron Rodgers would not impact him to change his course of behavior. It would only lead him to continue to behave in the manner in which would lead you to want to fine him in the first place. You discipline someone to impact their course of behavior. You don't discipline someone to discipline them. Finding Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be discipline, it would be irritation. That's what that would be. Aaron Rodgers could get fined $93,000 for missing 3 days of minicamp. That is the equivalent of fining the average Green Bay Packers citizen $267, roughly $83 or so a day. So finding Aaron Rodgers those $93,000 over the course of those 3 days is like the average person that lives in Green Bay getting a parking ticket. That's what that is.
That ain't it.
That's not going to actually discipline them. It's just going to irritate them. Whenever I get a parking ticket,
how many you get?
I done got 3 since I moved out here.
Since you got here? A year?
Delinquent ass. It don't keep me from parking illegally.
Oh, you going there?
It just irritates me.
Ooh.
I'm going to go you one further, Sel.
Do you?
Because there's nothing worse than irritation. Y'all know when y'all be at a picnic, it might be a family barbecue, it might be a function, whatever the case may be. I would rather see a stray animal than see a fly.
Hold on, a possum? Chill. Because
at least a possum, you understand, it's a stray, it's gonna come and go. What? But a fly just, you trying to eat a rib.
You want some too?
You trying to eat some Max.
He needy too.
You trying to eat that cornbread.
Tasty.
It's irritating.
Yeah, it is.
It's just irritating.
Yeah,
and that's what this fine to Aaron Rodgers would be. Just irritation.
Yeah.
$93,000. He won't even notice it. It's just going to irritate him. So Green Bay Packers, if your ultimate objective is reconciliation between you and Aaron Rodgers, why would you irritate him? You fine or you discipline to affect change. But finding or disciplining Aaron Rodgers would only lead him to act in the same manner in which he is acting, but worse.
Oh, man. Woo! This is going to be the one. This is the take that we really disagree, like, full-blown out. And it is not even you I got an issue with. It starts with those teammates. They lying asses at the podium. You know when I know somebody lying? Because they talking absolutes. I know you lying. First of all, let me talk about this. And I've been a teammate before, and you're my teammate right now.
Yes, sir.
But I'm never going to talk to you in absolutes. We don't have unconditional love. I hope that didn't break your heart right now. I hope you don't feel a certain way. We got conditional love. It's based on a lot of conditions. A lot of things got to go wrong for this love to be lost.
Yes, sir.
But those things can happen. Those dominoes can all fall. I don't have unconditional love for my wife. I love to get as close as I can to it. But you know why I know I don't? Because when we got married, they made us make vows and promise that we have unconditional love. That means we ain't got it, because we got to go out there and say it. You know who I got unconditional love for? Just my kids. Now, other people out there, they may have other people on their list. But I know when I hear a teammate talking about, I'll go to the mountain for him. No matter what he does, I got his back. What if he don't throw you the ball? I wonder how all these teams have beef when somebody don't give them what they want. And they talk about unconditional love. So, one, they are wrong, and then that made you go wrong because you were listening to them. Here's the thing about all of this. It's a deterrent. What's the use of having a fine system in place if you ain't going to enforce it? So, Aaron, you're going to get irritated. It's going to be a lot of flies on your head. I'm fining the hell out of you because my team is based on accountability. My team is based in the real of you did something that you knew before you did it was wrong, so now you just got to pay the cost. If it's an itty-bitty irritating cost to you, we don't give a damn how this fits in your pocketbooks. We just know that you're not going to be above the law with this team. And I'm not doing it for the buddy system. I don't run a company on buddy system, because if you do it that way, then people are going to start cutting corners like Acho, park where he wants to, because Acho don't give a damn. You have not faced the proper deterrent. I have. I'm like you. I don't give a damn about parking tickets. I just don't. It ain't even a month. I was like this when I was broke. I was just like, shut up, I'm parking here. Now, I'm like this in the carpool lane, too. I ride in the carpool lane solo deep. I don't care, because I do a calculation. I justify it. I'm like, if they ever catch me, which is slim pickings,
correct.
You know how many hours I have saved for this one big-ass ticket?
That's facts.
Okay? But there is one deterrent that works for me. It's that left turn signal, that left turn lane one. So the lane, you're supposed to go straight. Everybody in this line is waiting to go straight.
Yep.
But I need to make a left. But this line's so damn long that I'm like, let me go veer over here, and then I'm going to make my left. I got caught. Cop pulled me over. When I get pulled over by the police, I want them to give me a ticket. I'm not saying who I am. If you don't know who I am, that's on you. I'm not mad. I'm not sitting there saying, come on, I'm not begging, I'm not doing anything. I'm just like, give me my ticket, because I need that deterrent. If you don't give me that deterrent because you're like, oh, yeah, Marcellus Wiley, oh, I'm a big fan, I'm going to let you off. And then guess what that's going to do? It's going to enable me to do the worst thing even more. So if you're the Green Bay Packers running a proper organization, fine his ass, because he knew what the time was.
But the difference for you and A-Rod in this situation is this. You getting a ticket is a deterrent. Aaron Rodgers getting a ticket is not a deterrent. It's just being perturbed. Why? It's like, Sel, why not? Aaron Rodgers getting fined $93,000 over 3 days. What is that? $31,000 a day. He don't care about that. And so now he's just going to be like, wow, y'all really going to fine me? Okay. Like, what is the goal? Again, I'll say this before. If y'all ain't watched this show, y'all haven't heard me use this quote. The reason most people fail is because they're willing to sacrifice what they want most for what they want now.
Say it.
The Green Bay Packers most desire Aaron Rodgers and reconciliation between the two. Right now, they might desire to punish him. But what they want most is reconciliation between the two.
I love you.
I'm going to give y'all another bar. I'm going to give y'all another bar. I don't know if y'all deserve this one, but I'm going to give y'all another bar. Sal.
What's that ill?
I ain't used this one on this show yet. So this is my favorite bar.
Be careful.
Rules without relationship equals rebellion.
All right.
Rules
Where you going with
without
that?
relationship equals rebellion.
Let's hear this.
The Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers do not currently have a relationship. At least they do not have a healthy, functioning relationship. So if the Green Bay Packers try to enact and enlist a rule, fining Aaron Rodgers $31,000 per day, though they do not have a relationship, that will lead to further rebellion, because rules without relationship always equal rebellion. In a household, give your child the rule. A curfew, a punishment, a timeout. Let y'all not have a relationship. It will lead to a rebellion. Employers, give your employee a rule. Let y'all not have a relationship. It will lead to rebellion. Packers, go ahead. Enact that rule if you want to, but you and Aaron Rodgers do not currently have a relationship, and it will lead to further rebellion. So all I'm saying is this, Sal, go ahead and put all these rules down. But the rules without the relationship is only going to further this man rebelling.
Man, we going here? Okay.
We there.
Okay, let's
We've
go
arrived.
here. Let's go here. You got me up here sweating. Aaron Rodgers is no kid. Aaron Rodgers is a big-time talent to the point where he's a future Hall of Famer, living legend, walking, right? And I know he knows this because it's going through his head. Look, let's talk about first that the importance of any job, of anything you do in this world, is not just based on salary. Let's be real about it. If you make a lot of money, don't think you that damn important. Now, a lot of people do, but that's not the only attribute of what importance is. You don't believe me? How much does the president of the United States make?
A couple hundred, right?
$400,000 a year, they say. I think his job's a little more important than that, right? That ain't even backup R5 money in the NFL, right? But his job's a little more important than that. So it's not just salary-based. And also, what's not also income-based? Deterrence. You are running a fear-based model where if you spare the rod, you're going to spoil the kid. And that's how you're going to run this house? You're going to run this Green Bay Packers? Like, oh, well, he broke curfew, but you know what, Aaron? Come on, I'm not trying to irritate you, so just don't break it again, all right? You're cool with that, all right, Aaron? And Aaron like, yeah, all right, Daddy. Boy, that boy ain't never coming home again when he's supposed to come home. Aaron, I'm sorry, brother. You're not above the law. You're not above this house. You live in this house, you got to do the right things. And right now, you know you ain't doing the right thing. Love, hate. Coming up, the NBA MVP is a joker? We'll tell you if we have an issue with Nikola Jokić taking home the hardware. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Jokić, which one? Man, you want to speak for yourself. Marcellus Ronnie Emmanuel Acho, the Emmy winner.
My dog.
Emmy Acho over here, who just got congratulations from a big-time star. Oh, our man Lil Wayne tweeted, my high praises, let me say it right. My high praises and congrats, so give it to my man Emmy Acho. Love, brother. Well deserved. Man, Acho, is it getting bigger than this?
Nah, bro. Shout out to you, Weezy F. You got me hyped before the show.
Yes.
You gonna get me hyped through this block.
Dog, no one on this show has talked about more off mic than Lil Wayne. I just want to let you know, dog, you keep us hyped. Let's move on to the NBA, where Nikola Jokić, did I say it right this time? Yes. Was named NBA MVP last night, becoming the first player drafted in the second round to take home the hardware. Jokić had career highs for just over 26 points a game, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Joker finished with 91 out of 101 first-place votes, beating out Joel Embiid and Steph Curry. Got to bring in Fox NBA analyst and MVP voter, Slick Rick the Bucher. But Acho, you have any issue with Nikola Jokić being named? Damn, can I finish?
My bad, G. My bad. I got to answer.
I got to answer. Talk it up,
I got to answer.
You got any issue with him being named MVP?
I got to answer. Apologies, Slick. It's been that kind of show today. You're just walking into the fire. It's like walking into Double Dutch, Slick. Get your feet hot.
Wow.
Get your feet hot.
Tangies.
I don't have an issue with the Joker being named MVP. I'm going to give it to y'all in story form. Slick, Sal, if y'all ever come to Austin, one of the first things you all should do is go to a place called Franklin's Barbecue. Y'all should go to a place called Franklin's Barbecue. But here's the kicker, Slick Rick. Here's the kicker, Sal. If you go to Franklin's, you better be in line by about 5 a.m. because by 7:30, they run out of barbecue.
Yes.
So the kicker is not necessarily who got there first. It's more importantly, who's willing to wait in the line. So the kickers, I look at it, and why I have no issue with the Joker being named MVP of this NBA season is because they were all standing in this figurative line. And LeBron said, I got to get out of line. I got a high ankle sprain. James Harden said, man, I got to get out of line. I got a hamstring. Kevin Durant, I got to get out of line. I got a hamstring too. Kyrie, man, I got to get out of line. Somebody just called me the N-word. Embiid, man, I got to get out of line too, big dog. I got a meniscus, got to get out of line. So then you start looking around, and there were two people truly left in line, Giannis and the Joker. They saw Giannis at the front of the line and said, wait a second. You just ordered. We saw you here before the last 2 days. To the back of the line. And the person that was left was the Joker. So this was really a season about who can survive attrition. Yeah. The Joker played in all 72 of the games. You look at all the other people. KD played in 36. I'm not going to go down the list. Y'all can look at it. Y'all can consume it. Y'all can take it in. It was a war of attrition. It was a war of availability. Because as Marcellus has noted, I believe the best ability is availability once everyone else already has ability. Yeah. So the Joker deserves his MVP for surviving a grueling season and playing at an incredibly high level throughout.
Acho, I've been calling you E all this time, and I thought it was for Emmanuel. Little did I know it was for Emmy. Congratulations, my friend.
Salute.
But that said, I don't have a problem with the what, which is that Jokić was the MVP or selected MVP. I have a problem with the why. And I guess I should say that I have a little bit of a problem because Giannis Antetokounmpo was at the top of my ballot, but Jokić was second. So in the big picture, I'm okay with it. It's the why. And the why, largely what I heard from voters and the narrative, is that it's because he lost Jamal Murray. And he lost Will Barton at the end of the season. And he didn't have Gary Harris for a stretch. And none of that took into account the reality of the situation. Number one, end of the season, their schedule was pretty soft. Two, a week before they lost Jamal Murray, they traded for Aaron Gordon. Three, not having Jamal Murray allowed Michael Porter Jr. to expand his imprint in a huge way, averaging 10 more points than he did last season. So the problem that I have is this idea that the Denver Nuggets didn't miss a beat in spite of missing all these players, and we're going to give all the credit to Jokić. The other part of the element of this argument, and the reason why Giannis was at the top of my ballot, is because, one, I didn't vote for him the last 2 years, so I wasn't carrying any guilt that you mentioned, Acho, about him being in line and already being served. The other part is that defensively, Jokić isn't the rebounder that Giannis is. He's not the rebounder that Joel Embiid is. He's not the shot blocker that either one of those guys is. We've made this such an offensive award that Steph Curry finishes third on the ballot with playing the worst defense of his career. So ultimately, that's where I don't have a problem with Jokić being rewarded because I respect and admire guys like Jokić and Draymond Green, second-round picks who may not have all the physical talent in the world, but they use their IQ and they refine their skills to become great players. So hats off to Jokić that he got it. But do I agree with the logic that went into giving it to him? That's where I have to stop short.
Damn. Ooh, I hope you're busy when you come to my funeral and hopefully don't raise your hand to do my eulogy because you talking about congratulations, Jokić, and then you just attacked him. Slick Rick. Get that man his flowers, damn it. Why he's still alive? Here's the thing. I had a homegirl give me some of that Franklin's when I was in Austin when I was in my single. Talk? Yeah. She liked me because she stood in that line. I was like, nah, meet me at the hotel. Just give me some of that. It was good, but it was cold. Anyway, let's talk about this war of attrition that Acho called it just now, and he talked about it earlier in our production call. I have no problem with Jokić winning this. Matter of fact, Jokić should have won it. Let's start with the simple things. Ability. Most important ability is ability. They're all talented. But then we get into the availability and reliability. And then all of a sudden, some of these players just lose their talent. Jokić played in 100% of the games played, as Acho said. Next is Chris Paul. Then Steph Curry, but we're already down to 88%. We went from 100% to 88%. Giannis, Embiid, 85 and 71%. Okay, so we talk about ability and availability. Now let's talk about the game. Forget reliability because we already know that Jokić was there all the way through. Let's talk about the game itself. Slick Rick, I need to see your face because I don't know if you told everybody exactly what you felt or exactly what you saw as an MVP voter. Let's talk about the rebounds because you said that he's not the same rebounder as Giannis and Embiid. You're right. He's better than Embiid. At least this year he was. And he's right there with Giannis. Giannis is at 11. He's at 10.8. Let's not exaggerate that one right now. He has as many points per game as Giannis and Embiid, but as many as assists as CP3. Wait a minute. That sounds like versatility to me. You got more rebounds than one of the guys. You got as many assists as a guard and as many points as Giannis and Embiid. Okay. Who had... in terms of 30-point games, 10 rebound games, Giannis right there with Jokić. 1-2 punch. So if you look at all these things in simplicity, first player in NBA history, averaged 26, 10, and 8 on 52% shooting or better. Jokić, first player in NBA history. And we talk about a lot of greats. First center to win the MVP since Shaq. It's the return of the Mac. It's the return of the center. Return of the Mac. We are looking at something different at that position with the versatility and the fact that the dude was there every single game, no matter who was in and out the lineup.
All right, so let me get this straight.
Yes.
I'm the hypercritical one, yet you're the one who has a girl who stands in line at 5 a.m. to get you barbecue, and you're going to complain that it's cold?
That dude.
What?
That dude.
Second of all, as I said, I don't have a big problem with Jokić being named MVP. But the fact of the matter is, you skipped over one of the categories that I put out there, and that's shot blocker. And you're talking about the big man being returned. I won't even get into the pick and roll defense where people were able to exploit Jokić in a way. Again, if you look at where the Denver Nuggets were, both offensively and defensively, you can give Jokić credit for being the main piece and being their MVP without question. Mm-hmm. But where were they as a team? Where did him being the main piece take them? They weren't better than the Milwaukee Bucks offensively. They weren't better than the Milwaukee Bucks defensively. And so while I didn't come on here thinking that I was going to make this big case for Giannis and why he's being unjustly placed below Jokić as an MVP, the reality is there's a reason I put him at the top of my ballot. And it's because he has expanded his game from where he was the last 2 years, and he's a factor at both ends of the floor, which made the Milwaukee Bucks a better team. And I just reject this idea. Again, this is where I started. I rejected this idea that the Denver Nuggets, when they lost Jamal Murray and Will Barton, suddenly had no talent around Jokić. They acquired Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter Jr. is the real deal. He's got enough talent around him to do what he's doing, and I just can't give all that credit to the Joker.
I respect that you reject that idea, but hopefully you didn't penalize him subconsciously with that same thing. Only 11 players played every single game in the regular season this year. And one of them, name is Jokić. And let's talk about who had the most double-doubles among all players this season. Jokić. And let's talk about who was only second to Russell Westbrook in triple-doubles this year. Jokić. So Jokić, I don't have a vote, but I'm glad you won, even without Slick voting for you. Coming up, playoff P did not show up in game one. We'll tell you how much we trust the Kawhi PG duo right now. Oh, damn. Next on Speak For Yourself. Y'all asked this after a loss?
Welcome back. The Jazz came back from a 13-point halftime deficit to beat Marcellus' Clippers in Game 1 last night. Now, Kawhi Leonard said there were no excuses for losing the lead. Paul George finished with 20 points, but he only shot 4 for 17 from the field. PG said, quote, "We just came out flat. They were playing desperation ball the whole night, and we didn't match it until late." Close quote. My guy, Slick Rick, coming back to us. But Marcellus, you up first to defend your Clippers. How much do you trust the Kawhi and Paul George duo right now?
Yeah, I trust them. It's not full trust. I won't lie. It's not blind trust. It's weird. I trust them to always get their numbers. I just don't always trust that those numbers will have the impact that I desire. That's just the way it's built. Sometimes they look a little redundant. Sometimes it's just not spicy enough. So let me tell you what the spice needs to look like in order for me to have full trust with PG and Kawhi. it's not just them talking and having that kind of personality for leadership. It's just knowing the moments and when to apply yourself properly. Now, when you watch them play, especially last night, let's use PG as a reference. What do you have, 7 points after the first 3 quarters? Now, the third quarter is what really shot us, and the fourth quarter, but really that third quarter, and Mitchell coming out on fire. But we had a 13-point lead. So PG may be thinking, hey, I'm kind of taxed. This team is taxed from our performance in the Game 7 series and how much emotionally spent we are. Maybe he was in reservation mode, but he tried to do more than he did in the previous 3 quarters in the fourth quarter. Respect. But Kawhi in that same situation, you know, he picks his times, he picks his opportunities. He has a better read on what this team needs, not just in numbers, but in impact. But as a combination, they just don't read the situations perfectly like I think and I thought that they would. So the impact is what's missing, and that's why there's times where I don't even trust them. They will always get their numbers. Like I said, last series, people will shooting at playoff P, playoff P. Dude averaged 24. Playoff P, playoff P. Okay, he still had 20 last night. Numbers will be there. Kawhi, we already know, beast out there setting NBA records in terms of the first series against the Dallas Mavericks. Understated, but still setting records. Point being, where's the impact? For us to get finally past the second round of any playoff series, we're going to need production in numbers and an impact.
Not even Sell and Slick. Y'all both Ivy Leaguers. That's what I love. Because I don't punch down on the show. I have to punch up. At least intellectually, I have to punch up amongst you all to compete. So therefore, y'all will know what a logical fallacy is. A logical fallacy, it's an inference that is invalid that therefore makes an argument invalid. This question has a logical fallacy in it. Because the question is, how much do you trust Paul George and Kawhi's duo right now? See, the inference is that they are, in fact, a duo. They're not. Kawhi Leonard is a superstar, and Paul George is out there playing. I've said it before, I will say it again. Paul George is not an all-star because all-star has 2 words, all and star. Paul George is a some star. Some of the time, he is a star. They are not a duo. Now, just because you are a duo by title does not make you a duo by name. If y'all think it's my opinion, let's look at all the players in the playoffs who have scored 20 or more points on average. Sal, you can look at it right there. Paul George has the worst field goal percentage of every player who we can categorize as a star, at least based upon points per game. The list is littered with stars. Kawhi, Embiid, Harden, Durant, Kyrie, Booker, Giannis, Jokić, Trae Young, etc. Of all of the stars, PG has the worst field goal percentage amongst them. That's why I say he is a some star. Because through the first 3 quarters, some of the game, he had 7 points. In the last quarter, he had 13 points. That ain't no all-star play. That's some star play. See, PG does not show up all the time, so I can't classify them as a duo. Thus, I don't trust the duo because the duo does not exist. It is uno. It is not a duo. And the one person is Kawhi. Do I trust Kawhi? Absolutely. But do I trust PG? I'm not convinced that PG trusts PG.
Man, I had a plan coming in, but you guys have just taken it apart. Acho, I don't trust your full screen because
Thank you.
There was no Chris Middleton on that screen, if I'm not mistaken. I guarantee you he is shooting. What?
There shouldn't be.
Have you seen Chris averaging 20, I guess.
Have you seen Chris Middleton play lately?
He's an all-star.
He ain't averaging 20. He don't qualify.
Golly.
Okay. All right.
That's
all right.
it.
But he's an all-star. I mean, we can kind of massage. We can massage his full screen to make it look really bad. But look, Acho, your point overall, I agree with.
My dog.
And Marcellus, you said you trust this duo, and then you gave me all the reasons why you don't trust PG. And there is the duo part in that question. So I'm not sure where you're going here. I trust Kawhi Leonard. I don't trust Paul George. You gave the story, Acho, about the barbecue, about Franklin's barbecue. Let me give a quick story about my dog. My dog apparently has PTSD. I don't know where he got it, but loud noises, 4th of July, anything, he goes crazy. He jumps off the couch, he goes and hides. So he's now to the point where if I just take a breath, like I'm going to cough, like I'm going to make a noise, he's out of there. That's me with Paul George, okay? I don't need for it to happen to know that when he gets the ball in certain situations, I'm like, uh-oh, we're not going to get a good result here. The decision-making is simply not there. What are we doing? What are we trying to do? There's no rhyme or reason. And to be honest with you, it doesn't even have to do with the play right now or last year in the bubble. It has to do with the Paul George mindset. It's Paul George who said to us, when they got knocked out of the bubble, we didn't expect to win the championship this year anyway. What? Like, what? Where did that mindset? Who? Could you have let us know ahead of time when all year we were thinking that you guys had what it took to win a championship? And then we get this year against the Mavs after going down 2-0. And he says, well, you know, if we don't rise to the occasion, we're going home. If we don't rise to the occasion, as if it's optional to try to rise to the occasion and win the series. That's at the heart of this. Do I trust that the Clippers can beat the Jazz? Yes, I do. Do I believe that Kawhi Leonard is a better decision maker and can lead me in the fourth quarter? Yes, I do. Do I think Paul George is a great talent, but I have no idea what I'm going to get from him? Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I got to cut you. Y'all talking about, well, at least Acho said he ain't going to punch down. You may not punch down, but you certainly will grab the low-hanging fruit. And damn, you and Slick Rick.
What we do?
Talking about PG, because right now he's the running joke. He's 20 years of Kwame Brown all in one playoff series right now. That's what y'all trying to do to my boy. Even though his plus-minus yesterday was just a -3. They lose by 3. He had 20 points. I understand this wasn't a great game in terms of impact, and that's what I said before. That's why I don't fully trust Paul George. But I don't fully trust Kawhi Leonard either in terms of reading the moments and knowing when to apply all of Kawhi Leonard. How many times did we watch them against the Dallas Mavericks and say, just guard Luka, just guard Luka? Like moments when we're like, all right, now just keep the ball. Watching, and this is a microcosm of what I feel.
Last year.
Watching that last possession.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I feel you, bro. Hot potato.
Professional sports. Thank you. Hot potatoes written down here. It was a game of hot potatoes, for real. But professional sports, what separates you from the park and Rucker or you from your turkey bowl with your boys and professional NFL, NBA is micro decisions. I give it to you in story form and then I'll break down this play. Barry Sanders and I were talking one time and he told me, he said, man, you got to know that the difference between a 6-yard tackle for loss, Barry Sanders got the ball, and a 60-yard glory run by Barry Sanders is just 6 inches. It's just the little things. And on this play, a hot potato that touches Paul George, that touches Kawhi Leonard. Why is it in Morris's hand? And Morris is sitting there like the Eiffel Tower is right there in front of me. I can't shoot over it. So then y'all think that this is the worst part. The worst part is not that he has the ball to shoot over the 8-foot defensive player the year before. It's the fact that he doesn't know what to do in this moment. Don't try to shoot over him. Jump into him and get yourself to the foul line, and then we got a chance. Simple micro decisions. He should have never been put in that circumstance. It should have been Kawhi trying to shoot, because if Rudy Gobert's on the court, whoever's defending you is an easier offensive player to come in offensive play than going to Rudy Gobert's guy who he's guarding. So right there, shoot. I don't give a damn. Foul, whatever you... Right now, jump into him. He's off balance. God! Anyway, micro decisions, but that's okay, because one thing I do trust about my Clippers is Ty Lue will make the adjustments to those bad micro decisions that cost us in the Dallas series, that won't cost us in this series, even though it cost us 1 game.
But the question still, and phenomenal job breaking that down. I didn't even notice. I noticed the whole play, and I was like, why y'all scared to shoot? Like, somebody shoot, please.
Yeah.
But the reason I got to circle back, because so many people are going to get mad at me, Acho, you're going to call PG a some star instead of an all-star. Yes, I call PG a some star because of his play. His play is very sometimey. Now, Stel, you'll find this intriguing. Look at Paul George quarter by quarter. First quarter, what are you doing? 37% from the field, 29 from 3. Second quarter, he a dog. 60% from the field, 46% from 3. Third quarter, bro, what are you doing? 20% from the field, Literally 0% from 3. You're 0 for 7. Fourth quarter, he a dog again. Roughly 48% from the field, 35% from 3. Paul George is sometimey. And we all got friends that are sometimey. Hey, you trying to kick it tonight? Yeah, I'm going to be there. Man, something came up. And that's what Paul George is. Kawhi will hit him. Hey, big dog, you trying to ball tonight? Yeah, I'm going to be there. First quarter, something came up. Second quarter, he on. Third quarter, something came up. Fourth quarter, he on. He's sometimey, and I can't trust a some star to ball as part of a dynamic duo.
Okay, first of all, Marcellus, love the fact that you pointed out what happened with Marcus Morris at the end of that section. But you glossed past, since we played that video so many times. Can we play it again? Because there was a moment here that was the perfect time for a shot to be taken. And it's when it gets swung to Paul George, and he takes one dribble. I'm watching it now. Here we go. We're going to swing. Bang! Right there is the shot. Yeah. And you take it with 5 seconds left, and that allows you that if it misses, you can still get the rebound, kick it, and get another desperation 3. That's where you have to be aware of time and score and clock and say, this is what we need. And I will say, as much as I respect everything that Ty Lue has done, and I have no problem with deciding I'm going to get the rebound, I'm going to come down, I'm just going to let us flow. But the second you see that we don't have anything, we don't know what we're doing, you got a timeout in your pocket. At that point, I want to run something to make sure I get something good. And clearly, once PG passed that shot up, it was time to call a timeout and say, let's set something up and get a shot, because ultimately they didn't. And that's at the heart of the PG decision-making. Like, sometimes, to Acho's point, it's sometimes a start, sometimes right decision, sometimes wrong decision. And in the playoffs, with one of the guys that's going to have the ball in his hands at the end of games, I can't be – if it's summertime, then I'm going to be spending summertime not on the court as a result.
Man, 2 things. One more pushback, Slick, since we're having fun pushing that, playing tug-of-war right now. It's interesting looking at that Dallas series in totality, and even this one. Paul George has only had 2 games. We both respect plus-minus. Paul George has only had 2 games in these 8 games of a negative plus-minus. Whereas we saw in the first series alone, we saw 3 from Kawhi. Matter of fact, in every loss for the Clippers this postseason, Kawhi's had a negative plus-minus, which means last night we lost again. That's 4 compared to PG only got 2. Now, that's a deep dive into the numbers that I don't think everybody wants to take right now, because you're going to get dirty and going to get muddy. But the point is, Kawhi kind of escapes some of this because he does know when to turn it on, where Paul will sputter more so in those moments. But that was my greater point. They get numbers, but then impact, where's the complete impact? Here's another thing. The Clippers, only 3-2 in games where Kawhi and PG both combined for 60 points or more. Like, we're not dominant when they just go out there and be the dynamic duo we know they can be, just in production in terms of points. But we still are the only team left in the West that has 2 20-plus scores. So it looks to me, if you want to look at the landscape of the West, there's only one team that has 2 all-stars. Acho. Coming up, Dak is back. That is an amazing line. But we'll tell you what his biggest motivation will be this season. Next, some star? Speak for yourself, Jake. That is amazing. Mike McCarthy says Dak Prescott should be in, quote, full mode in training camp as he returns from his season-ending ankle injury. Left tackle Tyron Smith had his own injury and said Dak's comeback lights a fire under you, adding, quote, if your quarterback pushes himself like that, you gotta push yourself. That's right. Got to bring in Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings, GJ in the building. So, Greg, what would Dak's biggest motivation be this season?
Oh, it's going to be his own personal adversities. Forget football. This is about him, the way he started last season and then getting hurt, what he was playing for, the weight that he was playing with on him with his brother's death, his mom's memory, all of those things culminating into one big combustion, his contract, him not being able to play out that and prove what he was worth. Obviously, he got paid, but now he's playing with them, the Dallas Cowboys being them, saying, you are our guy, but he's playing with a motive, understanding of this is for, in honor of my brother, my mother, all of that he was carrying, all of what he wanted to provide for his family. He's able to do that, but he can't do it to the full extent that he desires. So I truly believe it's his own personal adversities that he's playing for and that is going to keep him motivated. Then you add on top of that, he gets hurt last year after coming out ablaze, setting the league on fire offensively in every statistical category. He was playing with a vengeance. I think that's what is going to motivate Dak Prescott. Forget what we say. Forget what the Cowboys have said or done. Forget what anybody outside of what he's doing and dealing with on his own personal level. Dak Prescott is going to be ready to play. That's why I believe the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
I respect that, GJ, but I'm going to personalize this for you and Sel, because you all have both experienced this, and I believe I may in the coming years. I think Dak Prescott's biggest motivation is going to be living up to the hype. I never signed a big contract. I do know Marcellus was the highest paid in Chargers history. He reminds me once a week. GJ, I do know that you got broke off, and not only that, but more importantly, you won a Super Bowl, which is really the equivalent to getting broke off, and you were a star-studded leading receiver for the Packers. Y'all have both been put in predicaments where it's a whole lot of hype. And it's a whole lot of hype based upon, one, how much y'all are getting paid, but two, what y'all have done before to merit the hype to a degree. When there is that kind of hype, you got to live up to it. Sel, you have told me you broke your foot, I believe it was, early on in training camp, but you remembered you just got paid mega deals. So you went out there and you played with a broken foot. I think you only had a few sacks that year based upon the story you've told me. If I'm
I had 13, excuse me, Mr.
Okay,
Stop. 1 foot and still was killing them, girl.
The first 4 games, you struggled like there was something.
No, that was the back surgery the year before.
There it is.
1 sack at the 9, but still killed them, girl. Had 10 and a half on the head.
There it is. I remember you had to live up to a motivation, so you played through some injuries.
Yeah.
Then in hindsight, you like, honestly, I don't really know how the hell I did all that.
Should have tapped out.
GJ, I don't know your personal stories because we don't rap next to each other every day, although we see you at least 3 to 4 times on a week. With that being said, y'all have both been in positions where you had to live up to the hype. Now take your situation and put a magnifying glass over it and imagine what will happen, because Dak Prescott making $160 million, $75 million in this year alone. That's hype. That's a whole bunch, bruh. Every Tuesday we get paid. For y'all watching, when you in the NFL, every Tuesday that check cashes, 3 p.m. Eastern time, it hits direct deposit. 75 divided by 16. I'm not that brilliant at math, but no. 75 divided by 10 is 7.5, so 16. You're probably looking at about $4 million, Marcellus. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time,
6, 8.
Dak Prescott is getting $4.7 million. Y'all do the math. $4.7 million a week means Dak Prescott is making $1 million a quarter this year. $1 million every quarter. You know how much hype that is to live up to? Every quarter. You play roughly 70 plays a game. 70 plays a game means you playing roughly 15 plays a quarter. So Dak Prescott is making $1 million for about 15 plays. That's a lot to live up to. So what's his biggest motivation? Earning that $1 million a quarter, earning that $4 million a game, earning that $1 million every 15 plays, earning that $80,000 every play. That's Dak Prescott's biggest motivation in my mind, but y'all have made more money over your sports career, so y'all know vastly more than I do.
Man, I'm going to tear up all my notes because, boy, you took me some places. Like Toyota. Let's go places. You do got to live up to the money. The thing about it is the money means different to everybody. It's different. Let's just talk about that. Even the amount, let's just talk about that. Some people are internally motivated. Internally motivated means no matter how you dress me up, how much money you give me, how much success I have, how you treat me, I don't give a damn. It's about what's going on in here. And some people are externally motivated. They got, as they say, I got 110% if you hook me up. If not, I only got 100% because I need you to give me my extras. Dak reminds me of someone who's internally motivated. It's coming from the inside. Now, let me bring home this dynamic to you in terms of why money means different to everybody differently. If somebody walked into this studio right now, Acho, with $100,000 in cash, I know how I'm going to act. A pure donkey. Because every time I see cash, no matter what the amount, it does something to me. But I ain't gonna lie, and I'm gonna sound like I'm arrogant as hell, but I'm just gonna give you my experience. Somebody come in here with a $100,000 check, it's gonna hit me, but it ain't gonna hit me the same.
Talk that talk, Phil.
Okay. When we get our checks, and this is so weird, because, man, I grew up on welfare, 2 checks a month from the government, food stamps. I never had over $1,000 in my household growing up to the age of 18. But when you get in the NFL, you get a check, and it's got commas and commas. It looks like a sentence more so. Commas and numbers just running on. It don't hit you like that. It goes to the money, to the bank account, but you keep grinding. That's Dak Prescott. Okay, I know, yeah, you just told me I just made $1 million a quarter. But it didn't hit me like that. What hits me is this. My fuel is to make sure nobody looks at me in a bad light, living up to the money. My motivation is simply as this. For us to succeed, I can't be the excuse. I got to be the reason. Okay? If this team falls short, don't look at me. Look at the gap between me, highest paid, and all the other dudes who ain't getting paid as much, in part because they ain't as good as me. So that's what Dak feels in terms of pressure. Living up to what he's already earned. But I don't think he gets out of his skin. I don't think he becomes a different person. I don't even think he feels more pressure in this moment. It's just good to know that somebody respects you for your game as much as you've been trying to work at that same game.
I 100% agree with what both of you guys are saying, specifically you, Marcellus, when you talk about it being intrinsically motivated versus externally motivated. The one thing I will add to that is 100% of the people that I've ever met in my life are externally motivated. You can still be intrinsically and internally motivated, but you also, if somebody comes with you with something, it adds to what you have already been motivated for. So with good. Dak Prescott, on the inside of him, he knows what he wants. He talked about being a leader, and when that was taken away from him and how he felt, the anxiety, all these things over last year, COVID and all these. So it's not just solely about football. It's about being an inspiration. It's about doing something that will allow him to release these endorphins, these emotions, this passion that he can offer as inspiration to somebody who he may never, ever even meet. And then you add on top of that what we're talking about, that $1 million for every 15 plays, that $1 million every whatever quarters, $4 million, whatever you're talking about, $160 million in his total. Like, yes, I'm motivated because I don't want to be the excuse. When I got paid, even though I knew I was worth every single dime and even more, I still knew, okay, I can't let them be right in them being those who are going to say, I knew we shouldn't have paid them the moment my play was to slip. So as players, as competitors, whoever you are, whoever we are, however we operate, we're always trying to make sure we live up to not only our standard, but even some of the standards that we're hearing outside of our own. It doesn't just solely stop at you. It's outside of you as well. And I think that's Dak Prescott in a nutshell.
Man, say it again, man. This dude has just been living through an interesting life. Talking about a movie that they're going to make after Dak retires. GJ knows this more so than me because I never won a Super Bowl. I never won a championship. But everybody I know that won a championship always says this. They can't take it away from you. They can't doubt that. Now, Dak has been doubted since day one. 4th rounder. Is he really good enough? No matter what he's done. Endorsements. He ain't really earned those. Why are you getting all those endorsements? Because he got a star on his helmet. 2nd highest paid. Why? He overpaid right now. You get that ring, Dak. Ooh, y'all can't tell him nothing. Coming up, Jordan Love was better today than yesterday at camp. Whatever. We'll tell you if that eases our mind about him. Nope. Next, speak for yourself. Stop with the propaganda. Stop with the propaganda. All right. DK Metcalf took a break from football last month and tried to qualify for the Olympic trials in a 100-meter dash. Metcalf finished with a time of 10.37, but finished last in his heat. Dead last, I should say. He said yesterday, quote, "Those are some fast human beings. I'm going to stick to football." Acho, is DK Metcalf smart for sticking to football? Sal, oh, here we go. Don't you stick up for this dude.
I do nothing.
He did the right thing.
He's only smart for sticking to it because it is a financial decision. It's not necessarily an athletic decision. Here's what I mean, Sal, big dog.
Do I have to?
Probably the highest paid track athlete USA that hasn't tested positive, probably making about $500,000.
Don't do that to the sport.
Or that hasn't missed too many tests, therefore been suspended. It's probably making like $500,000.
Disrespectful.
DK go make that. One, obviously, in this season, but way more than that.
What?
But then when DK hits his next contract, because Tyler Lockett, his teammate, is making, I believe, like $16 million a year, DK is going to be the highest paid wide receiver and probably get anywhere from $20 to $25 million per year. So strictly financial, and if it don't make money, it don't make sense, then yes, it is an intelligent decision. But to go ahead and beat you at your own game.
Oh, 8 Mile time. Here we go. Come on, B-Rabbit.
DK could obviously train and compete at the highest level in the USA in track and field.
In high school, when you get a GED again?
DK could obviously compete, qualify for trials, and then see what happens.
Man, look, the question, all right, let me stay on the rails because you know how I feel about this. DK, is he smart for sticking to football? Yeah, because he was dumb for not. I respect track too much to let anybody cross those lines and then act like that is going to work here. You are a fast football player. That's a good enough attribute. That's a good enough accomplishment. But you a slow-ass track runner. It's just the facts. 10.37, let me tell you what that is.
What?
That's 228th best in the world this year. You think you're going to eat if you switch sports? No. 97th at the time of American sprinters. We ain't even left the country yet. And it's 96 dudes looking back at him like, what you doing in here? Anyway, 10.37, 106 among American sprinters and 401st in the world 2 years ago before the pandemic. He had no shot. And I told you, I predicted his exact time just by watching him practice in blocks the morning of. I said 10.37.
You was on vacation. You didn't watch it.
All I know is, dude, look, if this was a joke, if this was just done in lighthearted spirit, if you just said, I want to see where I'm at, I'm laughing with you. Good joke. But if you serious, I'm not laughing. That ain't going to get it. 10.37, I don't care how much weight he loses. I don't care how much training he does. He ain't going to qualify to a level where he can make money and make a living off of it.
Here's why I disagree. But first, let me do this.
No way.
So when I had to get my master's, you have to take, I think it's the GMAT or the GRE.
You got a master's, don't even know what you took.
But it's been some years. You have to take a GMAT or a GRE. But during the course of this, you have to find the error in logic. There's a portion of the GRE, the test that you have to take in order to get in your master's program. You have to find an error in logic. You'll read a paragraph, and you have to find the error in the individual's logic. It's make me well-equipped to find the error in Marcellus Wiley's logic. You tell me that DK Metcalf would rank 229th in the world right now in the 100, or 98th or 97th in America. That is what you tell me. The error, however, in your logic is you are comparing DK's only to everyone else's best.
I
didn't ask you to do all that. Compare DK's best if he were to continue running to their best.
I could guess.
Compare their first to DK's first. But you're not going to sit here and compare your Instagram. That's what you are.
Whoa, I'm a highlight life.
Marcel was comparing highlights in Photoshop, and they did the little pick.
Who does it?
They curved the body in, and they swiped a couple times to take the shine off. You are comparing DK's reality to other people's highlights. Don't do that, Marcellus.
Okay, I won't do that.
You're better than being an Instagram model. Better than that.
Be an IG thought. All right, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the guesswork out. I'll take 2 tenths off for working at it, practicing, and going hard at the sport. That's 10-17. You ain't eating still. You ain't on nobody's podium.
Then win.
He should have called me. I would have told him, dog, just go out there with a smile. No, I would have told him, do what Logan Paul did. Tell the truth. Logan Paul, after that fight with Floyd, you know what he said? This was a dream come true. It was almost like a make-a-wish for him. He was like, oh, my God, I can't believe I survived this. And did you carry me or not? That's how he should approach it. But he putting out workout videos, dropping the spikes, see you soon and all that. Hey, bro, you don't want to see these dudes in track and field. So here's the thing about it. I would have told him like Outkast and them told us. DK, reconsider. Read some litter. Sure on the subject. I can't say no more. I'm gonna curse. Coming up, LeBron got an early vacation, and now he's making a big change for next season. DK, come on, man. We have a lot to say about that next. Speak for yourself.
So you're an IG model, bro.
I am. But would he have broke 10 ever in his life?
LeBron James has some time on his hands. So he decided to make a change. Reports say he will switch from number 23 to number 6. If you remember, LeBron wore number 6 with the Heat, where he won 2 titles. So, Sal, what's your reaction to the king keeping the throne but changing his crown?
King is smart. The king is thinking, ching, ching. You get all that royalty money from those jersey sales that these kids got to go out there and buy to keep up with the Joneses. Oh, you got the old LeBron jersey. You ain't got the new one yet? Look, I got a list here. Barkley changed his number 4 different times. Dwayne Wade twice. Kobe, we already know, twice. Shaq, 4 different numbers. Jordan, 3. Yeah, he wore number 12 one time. People forgot about that when they stole his jersey. The point is, this is what you do. Line your pockets.
Bron said yesterday, I will have my vengeance. He is just changing his sword. His sword is his jersey number, his superpower. He coming back with his vengeance in 6, Lakers in 3.